Herman Chambers Wilson was born on October 15, 1890, to Harriet E. Wilson and William Wilson. Herman had a total of 8 siblings, 6 sisters, Ida, Mary, Sue, Bessie, Willie, and Catherine, and 2 brothers, Horace and Everett. Herman found himself as one of the youngest siblings, and his family lived on 169 Cumberland Avenue in Asheville, North Carolina. In 1914, when he was a sophomore in high school, Herman enrolled in Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts. While at school, Herman lived in dorm room Bishop 9 and quickly made many friends. At Phillips, Herman, nicknamed Herm, was able to succeed in athletics. He was a member of the Academy's football team, coached by Coach Daly, and a star on the school's baseball team, under the leadership of Coach Quinby. Apart from athletic achievement, Herman found enough success at Phillips to be awarded the James Greenleaf Fuller Memorial Scholarship. Herman's high school career was best summed up by the many superlatives that he won. Among the many titles that Herm held were those of Best Athlete, Most Respected, Most Promising, the man who has done the most for the school and 1917, and Best All-Around Fellow. With graduation drawing closer, Herman and 62 of his fellow classmates set their sights on attending Yale in the coming fall. However, on April 6, 1917, Herman's plans changed and he enlisted in the Marine Corps. Herman was assigned to the 49th Company, 5th Regiment, USMC, 2nd Infantry Division, and soon left the States for France. The reason Herman joined the military is revealed in a letter he wrote soon after leaving for Europe. The letter was written to Alfred Ernest Stern, who was the 9th ever principal of Phillips Academy, and had been in office when Herman attended the school. The letter was featured in the October 1, 1918 issue of the Lawrence Daily Eagle, and reads, "Dear Mr. Stern, 2 months have gone by since I first saw France, and my time has been so well taken that writing has been well nigh and impossible. A short time after we were placed in regular companies and regiments, we saw service at the front, and a short time after that, were in an attack, or, in better words, went over the top in the offensive, which started on the Soissons-Rheims front. We may get another chance before the Germans are able to make a stand, but any news which could be given you about the war would be old news before reaching you." As the Andover crowd was in a replacement battalion, it was pretty well scattered when assigned to companies. 2 of them I have not seen at all, but Bob Warren is in the same regiment, so we see each other often. Harve Bradley is in another regiment, but I have seen him several times. As I cannot mention places to which my company has been sent, I cannot mention many cities and towns of interest in this war and older wars. The Marne and Moselle rivers cover so much territory that it will perhaps not be a breach to say that I have been swimming in both, and swum 'em bank to bank. Needless to say, I am glad to be over here, and if I have not before, I thank you now for your help and for getting me across. It would be a lifetime regret for me if I should have had to remain in the States. Most sincerely, Herm Wilson. In the letter, it is revealed that Herm joined the Marines at the urging of his former principal, and is thankful for it. Unfortunately, Herm's time spent enjoying the military was cut short. On October 6, 1918, 5 days after this letter was published in the newspaper, Herman Chambers Wilson died from wounds he had received in a battle that occurred close to the Marne River that he had talked about in his letter. He was buried at the Ames-Marne Cemetery in Bellevue, France. Herman's mother received a gold star in recognition of the loss of her son. In 1930, Harriet and many other mothers who had lost their sons to war made a pilgrimage known as the U.S. World War I Mothers Pilgrimage to visit the graves of their fallen sons. After the war concluded, a man named Claude Morpheus compiled a book titled Phillips Academy Andover in the Great War. The book is over 400 pages long and contains an honor roll section in which a page is dedicated to Herman. The page starts off with the quote, "His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, 'This was a man.'" Shakespeare. The tribute then goes on to say, Herman Chambers Wilson was born October 15, 1890 in Asheville, North Carolina, and was much older than the other members of his class at Phillips Academy, but he never lost a boy's zest in living, and he knew how to win the confidence of younger men. In Andover, his skill in athletics made him a leader, but he would, under any circumstances, have been one whose counsel was sought and heeded. He played on the football 11 and the baseball 9, being especially capable as a pitcher. But he also held other offices in which popularity was more an asset than muscular power. In the spring of 1918, 3 days after America declared war, Wilson went to Boston and enlisted in the Marine Corps. He was sent at once to Parris Island, where his Plattsburgh experience made him a valuable drill master. And, despite his longing to get overseas, he was held at the task of beating the manual into the heads of raw recruits. At last, when the 3rd Company trained under him had gone abroad, he made so vigorous a protest that his desire was granted, and he went to France on May 24, 1918, with the 5th Regiment of Marines. He was promoted to be a gunnery sergeant and took an active part in several of the hot engagements of the summer of 1918. On October 6, 1918, he died of wounds received in action. The last note the book makes is that of how proud the professors were of the nationalistic spirit and unity they promoted at Phillips, and how excited they were to see so many of their recent and soon-to-be graduates enlist. Later on in time, Herman's body was relocated to Pine Grove Cemetery in North Carolina. The fallen soldier was finally able to come back home.